got my elderly neighbor evicted for calling the police on my black friends. It started when Mrs. Patterson moved into the apartment next door and immediately began harassing any black visitors to my place with false police reports. Mrs. Patterson was in her 70s, recently widowed, seemed lonely at first. I tried being friendly, offering to help with groceries or maintenance issues. Everything changed when my friend Marcus came over to help me move furniture. Normal afternoon, two guys carrying a couch upstairs. Marcus happens to be black. 20 minutes later, police knocked on my door. We got a report about suspicious activity, someone breaking into apartments. I was confused. Breaking in? This is my apartment. That's my friend helping me move. The officers looked embarrassed once they realized the situation. Sorry for the confusion. Someone called about men forcing entry into the building. Marcus and I exchanged looks. We both knew exactly who had called. I knocked on Mrs. Patterson's door. Did you call the police on my friend? I saw strangers entering the building, she said defensively. I was protecting our community. That's my friend Marcus. I introduced you to him in the hallway last week. I don't remember every person you bring around here, but she remembered Marcus specifically because he was black. The pattern became clear over the next few weeks. Every time Marcus visited, police would show up within an hour. Same story. Suspicious men or potential break-in. My other black friends got the same treatment. Jerome came over to watch football. Police. Kevin stopped by to return a book. Police. Always the same caller. Always Mrs. Patterson. White friends could visit without any issues. Only black visitors triggered her calls. I started documenting everything. Dates, times, which friends visited, when police arrived. The pattern was undeniable. Confronted Mrs. Patterson directly. You only call police when my black friends visit. That's racial profiling. I call when I see suspicious activity. It's not about race. Then why don't you call when my white friends visit? She couldn't answer that without admitting her racism. The false reports escalated. Mrs. Patterson started claiming my friends were dealing drugs or threatening residents. Complete fabrications designed to get them arrested. During one incident, she told police Marcus had aggressively confronted her in the hallway. Security cameras showed Marcus politely saying hello while she ignored him. I'd had enough. Filed complaints with building management and local civil rights organizations. Provided documentation showing Mrs. Patterson was using police as a weapon against black visitors specifically. Building management reviewed security footage and police reports. Pattern was obvious and legally problematic. We can't have residents filing false reports based on racial bias, the property manager said. This exposes us to discrimination lawsuits. Mrs. Patterson was given formal warnings about misusing emergency services and creating hostile environment for residents and their guests. She ignored the warnings, continued calling police every time she saw black visitors. That's when I involved the police department directly. Filed complaints about harassment and false reporting. Detective Williams was not amused. False police reports waste resources and endanger communities. Will investigate. Police reviewed call logs and security footage. Mrs. Patterson had filed 18 false reports in 3 months, all targeting black visitors. She was charged with filing false police reports and harassment, multiple misdemeanor counts. During court proceedings, building management testified about the hostile environment she'd created for residents and their guests. Mrs. Patterson was convicted on all charges, fined and given probation, but the legal conviction violated her lease agreement. Residents couldn't engage in criminal activity that affected other tenants' peaceful enjoyment of their homes. Building management evicted Mrs. Patterson for lease violations and creating discriminatory environment. Her appeals were denied. Civil rights violations and false police reports constituted grounds for immediate removal. Mrs. Patterson had to find new housing with a recent criminal conviction. Most senior living facilities rejected her applications. She ended up in a much less desirable building across town with higher rent and fewer amenities. My friends can now visit without fear of police harassment. New neighbor in Mrs. Patterson's old apartment is a young professional who minds her own business. Building management sent notice to all residents about proper use of emergency services and anti-discrimination policies. Mrs. Patterson thought she could use police to intimidate people based on their race. Instead, her systematic harassment cost her home, reputation, and comfortable living situation. Sometimes trying to weaponize law enforcement against innocent people backfires when you're the one actually breaking the law.